don't die. Please don't die.
Ouais, bon, mais ça se peut pas, hein, parce que tu sais, l'autre jour, je suis allé au supermarché, ils m'ont dit, monsieur, qu'est-ce que tu vas manger? Et je lui ai dit à eux, je suis en train de délibérer parce que je suis pas. Vraiment, je sais pas. Well, non mais ça se peut pas. Ok. Allez, c'est parti! Oh là là! Oh là là! Oh là là! Non mais ça faisait longtemps, hein. Ça faisait longtemps que j'ai pas fait ça. Can't hide the way I'm feeling. As you leave me, please, would you close the door? And don't forget what I told you. Just 'cause you're right doesn't mean I'm around. Another shoulder to cry upon.
It should better be recorded sound, because fucking is that? If you're not, damn it. So dumb.
just me. Trust me, I'll give it a chance. Put your hands up. Oh, it's Hermetically on the jukebox. I'm gonna start the dance. Tell me, you know I want your love. Those can't wait for somebody like you. Come on, follow my lead. You're crazy, don't mind me saying. Oh, you know you talk too much. Now I'm waiting. Put your body on. Come on, follow my lead. Come on now, follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. I push and pull like a magnet. My heart is stumbling through. I'm in love with your body. Last night you were in my room, and now my bed sheets are like every day discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Oh, 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 oh. I'm in love with your body. Oh, oh, oh. I'm in love with your body. Oh, oh, oh. I'm in love with your body. Oh, oh, oh.
Excuse me. Rock.
I've been counting diamond stars, the color code, the rest from ours. Counting your freckles through the day, so the sun can have a say, but babe, I just wanna fly. I just wanna try to hang my dreams on your lips, little lips he sighed, as they may. I just wanna dance and sway these gray goose lips on Mancaray, yummy smoky scotch on ice, whiskey woman, and some dice, 'cause it's you and it's me. What you do, let it be. Spirits fuse suddenly in this strange alchemy. Play the heart, so I'm told. Pocket is, yeah, I'm gold. Let the chips only fall as they may. Not at all. Yeah, just a little to the right. Yeah, okay. Fuck. Slowly, first and all at once, I listen, turn underneath the cars, and in the way the lovers share secrets, coloring the quiet with our fingertips, trembling the clovers and tinsling the clovers all night. As they may, a little bit more, a little bit faster, a little more unabashed disaster. What you love is space, it's Jack of all the trades. Everybody knows this is how it goes. Woo! Alright, I'm sorry about the ending of that one. It just, the people in the song had a really good time that night, so. oh sí, tranquilita, tranquilita. Ya estamos así como que por la mitad, ¿ok? Entonces, cálmate, coño, verga, sí. You helped to find the puzzle pieces of my heart that I had torn and tossed for good to feel the hurt. I never knew how much it melted down upon your tongue. Yeah, you showed me how to love out of blue. Warm in the California sun of your light, my love. Yeah, you showed me through the dark of my own truth. Out and about across these woeful, wondrous worlds, I've got to spread my wings in bloom the way you do. Deep in the night, without a name, I'll look to you, yeah, lighthouse set aflame. And mine is too. Show me a silhouetted dance, I'll fly to you, yeah, I'll try to see it through. Across our wounds. How does it go? It goes. Quiero pasar esta noche como un extranjero en mi mente y mi cuerpo. Ya no me digas que no somos novios. Me quedo en tus ojos, mi amor, pero no sé quién soy. Quiero pasar esta noche como un extranjero en mi mente y mi cuerpo. Ya no me digas que no somos novios. Me quedo en tus ojos, mi amor, pero no sé quién soy. I mean, shit. We'll see what happens, dude. We'll see what happens. and I was still kind. Just a water treader waiting down the line. The right whiskey drinker, master turned a circus swinger. Look, ready, up! He's coming down. Can you shake it up just once for me? Little globe so can see blowing around nuts too. Of you. care to sit stare unless I mirrored the same. So soon, love, I muffled every mention of your name. To speak in tongues, the broken lungs, to try to suss out the blame. All the things that I said were designed to create a kind of truth that I felt inside with somebody who used to absolve me my past of you. True, I was lost in the dark to remind you I needed a dirt, but I don't want to harm you by cutting you. The fear that I loved you more. Did I love you more? Did you love me? Okay. Now. Last one, baby. Last one. Okay. Shadow play. Fuck. Wait. And so we'll wander, then guarding, break a day. And then we'll feel our moans within our very regardez